you.
Okay, we are back at Gun Rights Policy Conference. I want to thank everybody that followed us over. We had a little bit of an issue. Apparently, Google Plus and YouTube limit our live broadcasts to 8 hours. So we had to change feeds, and thank you to everybody. And there are quite a few of you that did make the switch, come over, and see us through live. This is, of course, Gun Rights Policy Conference. We are just after the media presentation up there. All our mics should be live, guys. What did you think of the session after lunch?
I thought it was fascinating. Can you pop me up? I thought it was fascinating. I mean, think of what the media says. What's the old joke about a guilty child? It wasn't me. I didn't do it. It was somebody else. And if it happened, it wasn't my fault. Well, we've got a media that's telling us self-defense isn't necessary. And, okay, in those cases when it is a necessity, you should have been a victim rather than a victor.
What do you think, John?
Well, I enjoyed all the people we had. Of course, I like the lawyers. I really like that last quote from A.W.R. Hawkins, that it is harder to find a mass shooter who did not go through a background check than to find one that did.
The only exception that I could think of was Sandy Hook.
And that's because he killed his mom.
Well, right. He just murdered his way to a firearm.
That's right.
Well, joining us, I'm sorry, joining us, stepping in here is
Cheryl Todd.
Cheryl Todd, thank you. I'm sorry. It's been an awful day.
Crazy day, yeah.
Cheryl, you have a radio show here in Arizona with your husband.
Yes.
And you're going to be speaking tomorrow. First of all, tell us about your radio show.
Well, it's brand new, really, and we're on the Salem Network, which in the Phoenix area is 960 AM. It's KKNT, and we're called Gun Talk AZ. And so we are the newest local gun talk show, and what we like to say, we're trying to reach that middle space. There's a lot of angry voices out there. You know, we need to be angry, but there's a lot of things to be angry about. But for us, our personality is just about educating and informing, and so we're always looking for the people to they haven't decided yet. They don't know where they lie on the spectrum.
You want to talk to your neighbor.
I do want to talk to my neighbor, and for us, it's about opening up dialogue, which creates relationship. And through those relationships, sometimes people discover, guns just really aren't for me. They don't fit in my life. And if you are that self-aware, we high-five you. We love that about you, because if they don't fit in your life, that's going to help us be safe and responsible and protect our rights.
But even to ask your neighbor to think that through, that's a step for a lot of them.
Well, it is, because I think so often all we do is just, absorb other people's words. We just let it wash over us. But if we cause people to engage in critical thinking, now they go, now, wait a minute. I don't know that I believe that guns are evil. I mean, I don't believe that, because lots of lifesavers use guns. So how does that then fit into my paradigm?
Isn't that funny? And you use the word lifesaver.
Yeah.
If bad things happen, who do we call a lifesaver?
911, right? The first responders. And honestly, let me just take that word. I like to say that we should be our own first responders and let them be our backup. Because sometimes, very often, things happen so suddenly. There's no time to even get to the phone, to pick it up, to call 911, to tell them your address, to tell them what's going on. I mean, things happen in an instant. And if we can be safely and responsibly armed, then we can help protect even the first responders' lives, even the police personnel's lives, so they don't now have to step into all this.
Yeah, one thing we say on our show all the time, the average response time nationwide is 10 minutes to 911. From the time you push the button to send the call. 10 minutes. And that's assuming perfect circumstances,
Yeah.
An exercise, I haven't said it on the air for a long time, but one of the exercises I like to tell people to do, and I always tell when I'm speaking in public, look at your watch. If you got a second hand on your watch, or watch the seconds on the digital display go by, watch the watch for 10 minutes.
It's an eternity.
Amazingly long time.
It is.
I had a guy who would make fun of me. He goes, most people, adults, couples, sex only lasts about 7 minutes. I go, great. So what we should do is call the police, go have sex, and by the time they show up, we'll be done.
There it is.
I
right?
hadn't quite thought of it that way.
Be done or dead.
Okay, then.
Oh, there's a new marketing plan. I like it. Press this button.
How did I get in this conversation? What happened?
So you're going to be, among the other things that's going on, you're going to be speaking tomorrow. You're going to be up there with our own John Richardson.
Yes, I am so excited. I'm so honored that they asked me to speak because, like I said, our show is new. And it's so empowering that they have invited me to speak in front of this panel. I'm very passionate about the topic. I feel like I have a lot to share. But one of the things I'm going to talk about is that, like Bill Gates said, the future of leadership is in empowering others. Well, I'm feeling empowered. I'm going to go on my radio show. I'm going to help empower others. And we're just going to set that ripple on its course to hopefully be a tidal wave.
Tell me about your audience.
Our audience, well, very conservative, of course, because being on the Patriot Radio, they are a very conservative audience. And I think a lot of them are already bought in to the whole idea of Second Amendment rights and your constitutional rights. But what we're hoping is that we're going to get them so engaged that then they are going to go and talk around their kitchen tables, talk at the water coolers. It's going to be top of their mind. Hey, I heard this thing on the radio the other day and it's just kind of bubbling inside of me. And then they're going to maybe reach that middle space at the next generation. And it's really the next generation that I'm so actually kind of concerned about, worried about. My daughter's 25. She thankfully gets it. But so many of the younger people in her generation, they just, whatever MTV tells them to do, they're all about that. And MTV is definitely not going to tell them to support their Second Amendment rights.
No, it's not.
So does your show, as well as being on the air, are you streaming? Can people catch your show on the internet?
We are podcasting recordings on SoundCloud, on guntalkaz.com. We put every recording on there. So please check us out.
Absolutely. Well, we got a lot of things going on, but I do absolutely want to thank you, Cheryl, for stopping by, coming in and talking to us.
My pleasure, my honor. Thank you for having me.
Now, before you leave,
yes.
What hours are your show on? When is it?
1 p.m. on Saturdays.
1 p.m. Saturdays, Pacific time.
Yes.
Good. It's a big world. Let them know.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
We're going to be having another guest step in here in just a second, but while we're waiting, Rachel, what did you think of the afternoon session?
I really appreciated what the media guys had to say about how to deal with the media, how to deal with gun stories in the media. A couple of sound bites that I grabbed. Inviting the media out to events. We've done that some in Texas, and every single time we do it, we have great success. And so I need to remember to invite them out. I also want to remember to invite them out to training classes. We've done that just a couple of times, and every single time it's been fantastic. So I want to do that more. I believe we have another guest with us.